بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه أجمعين. So Alhamdulillah, we have a new member and a new addition to the team, Brother Hamid. He has joined us, and this is the the first meeting he's participating in. We before we started recording this call, we did introductions. So inshallah, we can maybe later down the road, we can have just uh, a few calls just about each member and talking about their journey, and in the software development world. I think that's going to be very interesting for our viewers. And obviously, we are not doing this just for the sake of talking about money or career development, even though those two things are needed to live. But the purpose of this call, or these calls, is to obviously, as we've mentioned multiple times, to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to use our expertise for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to give the zakat of our expertise, whatever we have learned. No one claims to be an expert, but whatever we have learned, to give the zakat of that which Allah Azza wa Jal has allowed us to learn. And we do that by using our knowledge and what we know to provide solutions to problems that Muslims face today. So that's a recap of why we're having these calls. But I think it's also interesting for people to just watch, for the young brothers who are deciding on what to pursue as a career, to watch these calls and get motivated and know like that. The field of software engineering, there are so many opportunities in this field to not only progress, but also to serve the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in so many different ways, right? It's whether you're gonna be whether you create a website for an Islamic nonprofit for free, or as we are doing here, trying to come up with a solution for the mortgage interest problem that Muslims have. So there are so many. So basically, your imagination is obviously, and the tawfiq of Allah Azza wa Jal, whether Allah Azza wa Jal gives you the tawfiq to accomplish it. But I think your imagination is the limit. Once you have, you have the tools, a few programming languages, you know how everything works, and you update yourself with the latest technologies, then you can do so much benefit. I know usually people say you can do so much damage, but we're not here to do any damage, right? So I don't even want to use that saying. Oh, you will be a force of good. You will be a force of good, and inshallah, we are trying to foster or introduce or create that atmosphere where that mentality is fostered, right? Where people start thinking in those terms. You don't just become a software engineer to make money, but rather to use your skills to serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's how historically, and that's how it has been. For example, the Arabs used their business ethics, right? And their trading, their ethics when it came to trade. When they used that, when they would travel to Southeast Asia, and just by being who they were, dealing with people the way they always deal with them, that whole area, Malaysia, Indonesia, that whole area became a majority Muslim, like almost all Muslim. So using one's profession to further the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is something that has been done throughout history. And whether whether in Baghdad, where like there was a hub of knowledge, and a source of knowledge, where people from everywhere would come to Baghdad to learn knowledge, right? So when we talk about these sciences, as I always say, we cannot distinguish and differentiate them and say these are worldly sciences. These are not, if you use them correctly, these become religious sciences. These are religious sciences. These are divine sciences, because all knowledge is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and anything that's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala um, is divine, right? And obviously we're talking about good, and everything that every knowledge that has khair in it. So with that said, do you guys have anything to mention, to add before we jump into the tasks at hand? Okay, I wasn't expecting this to turn into a khutbah, but it seems like it did. So,
MashaAllah, brother, you explained it in a very comprehensive way. Jazakumullah khair.
وإياكم, alhamdulillah, وإياكم. Barakallah fikum. So let me go ahead and start sharing my screen. So today's call will be shorter than previous calls, because we're just gonna go over the tasks and make sure that everyone is in sync. And if Brother Hamid is interested, we can assign some tasks to him as well, and we'll go from there. But it shouldn't be it shouldn't take us long to do that. So let me share my screen. Good to see you, Brother Hamid. You're muted.
Jazakallah khair.
Oh, وإياكم, وإياكم. Okay, so can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, we have this GitHub repo that we are working from. The project is Bunyaan. The repo is the Bunyaan underscore POC. And basically here, as you said, I think Brother Hamid, you mentioned that you did go over this and you were able to run the blockchain locally. So that's good news. So now there are a few pending issues that we need to address. And Brother Ahmed, may Allah be pleased with him, he created this project for us, in which we keep track of the tickets and the issues that we need to work on. So some of the things that some of the highest priority issues that we were working on is complete the blockchain functionality. What we mean by that is, the functionality of the Musharaka blockchain. The blockchain itself, as far as being able to create transactions and smart contracts, that's complete. We're able to do that. But we still need a mechanism to distribute rent when the time comes, and if rent is not distributed, to subtract from the down payment and use the down payment to pay rent to the investors. So some of those details still need to be coded, and we can, once I start working on that, whoever's interested in learning more about the blockchain and actually contributing to that, actually, you're more than welcome to join the. We can have a call and pair program. So this is something else I think I want to encourage. Even outside of these calls, if any of you guys are working on a particular aspect of the project, and you guys feel like if you get together, it'll be much helpful. We can. It's very. I think it's a very good idea to start doing that as well, right? So whenever you're working on something, just have someone on the call with you, just coordinate with them so you can determine a time and then pair program. Yeah, with that said, if anyone wants to join me when I'm working on the completion of the blockchain, they can, inshallah, just let me know and then we can set up a time. So that's one thing. The second one is we're planning to add a NoSQL database. and that is, brother Abdul Wahid, right, brother Hamid. He also goes to Masjid Al Aziz.
Yeah, yeah. He lives in Vista, right?
Yeah, he lives in
Yeah,
Vista.
yeah.
So he is our database expert. He did that. That's what he does for his company. So he's gonna take care of that for us. The front end, the design, and basically how it will look when the users uh, start interacting with the blockchain. That is something that brother Omair, he has volunteered to take care of, and he'll also do the iOS app for this portion of it. So, but as far as the buttons and how the design will look and everything, it'll be very similar across iOS and Android. And this is what we're talking about here when we say iOS, web, and Android. We're talking about uh, the UI, the user interface that we need to interact with the blockchain. So we can write the blockchain and complete it, but if we don't have the UI to interact with it, we won't be able to present the blockchain to anyone. You know what I mean? Um, so even though it's not an essential ingredient of of the blockchain itself, it is a necessary task that we need to perform to show that this is how, if someone wanted to do it, this is how they would do it, right? It's kind of like a sample app. For example, our company has SDKs, and for example, or and those SDKs by themselves are there, but you need an app to use those SDKs. Does that make sense? So our company also provides a sample app to our customers, with which they can, see, oh, this is how you integrate with the SDK. So this is kind of the same concept. We're creating these UIs and the mobile apps to show people how you would integrate, how you would use the blockchain if you were to go ahead and use it. So it's more like I would say it's more like something um, um, that you know you can have something. This is something that we mentioned last week, but we didn't elaborate on it. You can have multiple implementations, or multiple different groups or people creating different UIs and using the blockchain, as long as they follow have a wallet, they have a public um, public token, and all of those things, right? As long as they have what they require to be able to interact with the blockchain and make transactions and create smart contracts and everything. You can have different I don't want to say companies, because that will make it sound like people are making money off of it. As just to let people know, we as the developers will not be making money from this project. We're just creating this. This is an open source, um, and it's open to anyone who wants to use it, right? Um, okay, does that make sense? I think I went off tangent a little bit, but any questions?
Yeah,
For okay, cool.
that makes sense, brother. I just want to add one thing: the application aspect of this,
Hmm.
the what we will be building. So users in the most case, like the end users, don't care about whether this is being run on the blockchain or it has like a central s- like a uh, like a backend server, as in
Hmm.
most applications today.
Hmm.
So it doesn't really matter to them. To them, like it's the so there's two aspects of this, right? Which is, one is the blockchain, as you explained, and you can compare that to like Ethereum. And then the other side is the applications that are built on the blockchain that are utilizing the blockchain. So
Sure.
and that's what you were saying, that any set of developers can come in and use
Hmm.
the underlying blockchain and deploy their own smart contracts and write their own decentralized applications interacting with those smart contracts.
Correct. Exactly.
So that's there, but the application that we're building is also important because that's really, in my understanding, maybe I'm wrong, is what Bunyan is, right? Like a solution to for Muslims to be able to buy houses interest free,
Hmm.
get
Yes.
interest free. So that application is also the central theme of this entire project.
No, I agree. I mean, for phrasing it that way, I definitely see what you're saying. Uh, but I think the aspect that I was trying to explain was the first part of what you said. But as far as this the application that will allow to actually people to actually buy and sell, I think that that is also an integral part of the project. You're right. Okay, thanks for the clarification, brother. All right. So let's go into the project. Um, so for the project, yeah, I mean the issues. As far as these, the first one, the brother Ahmad has set the deadline to. So the milestone for this is the 11th of December. Yeah, well, I'll try to give a real. We'll try to make this the milestone. If there's something comes up, we'll definitely we'll keep each other updated. But this for as of now, we're shooting to complete the blockchain functionality by December 11th. And inshallah, by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we will be able to do so and even go further. And then yes, go ahead, sorry.
I said inshallah.
Inshallah. And then the SQL, brother Abdul Wahid, if you're watching this, the milestone for you is also the 11th of December. so so we can coordinate. Perhaps we can coordinate to make sure that we can meet this milestone. So and then the next one, the design of the front end and the application itself, or the app, the UI. That is also the December 11th, or yeah, 11th. And this is assigned to brother Umair. So brother Umair, you think we can come up with something by then?
Yeah, so it won't be very refined, like color
Yeah,
palette and fully nice, but it would be more like mocks or wireframes. Because I
yeah,
already like broke down like what functionalities are needed, and actually I had some questions, but that's the same thing. So I've broken down like what screens we will need and what sort of functionality we'll need, and I put something on the canvas, and I'll continue to do so. So by 11th, which is this Sunday. Inshallah, yeah, I'll have something on more like wireframes or mocks, but not fully fleshed out designs.
okay, sounds good. Inshallah. I think maybe something I think that will be more reasonable is because maybe we could divide these into subtasks, because completing the blockchain functionality, I just realized that the 11th is, for some reason I thought we were still in November. I think there's a big delay in my system. But you mentioned that it's this Sunday, so the 11th is 4 days from now. So
Yeah.
I don't think we can complete the blockchain functionality by then, to be honest. So maybe we could divide this. I'll let brother Ahmed know. We'll divide this task into two subtasks, right? One of them is the pay rent. One of them is to just complete what we have now, and then the other one is to add the pay rent, distribute rent, and take rent from down payment functionality. So I think with the second portion of it can be pushed to a later date, and I believe the same goes with the design. Maybe would it be easier for you if we divide the design into two subtasks?
Yeah, that, or we could just like update this card to be just the wireframes and clarify that it's for the web. and then
Okay.
do a separate one for uh yeah, I mean yeah, I guess like both work. It's just like once we have the designs, are we going to start working towards those? Because depending on like if you want to just like have one big task which keeps running, uh or just keep moving small things along.
Yeah, I think it's um, so it's so each use case. I think we should have one main task and then different subtasks for each task, which we tackle in each iteration, instead of having many different tasks that are related but they're not categorized or under the same uh, they don't have a parent category that are scattered. I think it's better to
I mean,
yeah.
I agree. Makes sense.
Cool. Okay, sounds good. I will let Brother Ahmed know about that, inshallah. Brother Hamid, is there anything you're interested in participating in? The design, SQL, or the blockchain itself?
I think I'll do the blockchain, but I honestly, I think it's a learning curve for me. So I don't have much idea about it, but I think I can get up to speed if someone can just guide me, like what we're doing, and the tasks, basically explain the task and how we should go about.
Yeah, definitely. We can do pair programming, you
Right.
and I. So if you have time, maybe this Saturday, we can schedule some time,
Okay.
inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yeah,
So
I
let me know. Yeah, go ahead, Brother Ahmed.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I'm not sure the part where we discussed how the blockchain works or what for this specific smart contract or DApp that we talked about, which allows like interest-free lending for mortgages. If we explain like how that works, like what's the functionality. So I'm not sure that call was recorded. So it might
Mhm.
just doing another in the next call, just explain what we're doing, the use case, and so like even
Yeah.
when people brothers are coding or doing designs, they understand like what we're trying to build.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, inshallah, we'll make that an action item for for the next call. Um, uh, just maybe I could put some. Yeah, I think yeah, I won't promise any like slides or any like anything fancy, but yeah, for the next call, inshallah, we'll try to explain the idea behind it, so everyone is on the same page. Cool.
and uh, this Saturday I have a company's event. So it's in the evening, so I won't be available in the evening. But I can do in the morning or afternoon on Saturday
Okay.
and
y-
Sunday evening too.
Okay. How about let's do this because yeah, let's shoot for let me okay. So we'll either have it Saturday morning, inshallah, or Sunday anytime, right? You're free anytime Sunday
Sunday, like after 4 or
after 4. Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Sounds good. Inshallah, I'll text you and we can
right,
coordinate
yeah.
a time. Okay, so those are the tasks that we should be working on. We should complete soon, and then we have the blockchain. So right now, the example that we have needs, is run locally, but when we start presenting the solution, uh, we need to have the blockchain running somewhere that's accessible by everyone. All right. Um, so. So, so we may have to, host just one node, and just or a few nodes in different servers, and demonstrate how these different nodes are communicating, and transactions are made and everything. So that's what we mean by hosting the blockchain. Uh, and I believe, Brother Omar, you said you have some, you can run this on a home server you have, or we can, use AWS. It doesn't really,
Yeah,
that's can I.
I have one machine that we can use, and the more nodes, the better. And
Yeah.
AWS might cost us, so if we can just, I mean, that's definitely an option, but a couple of nodes should be fine. I have one which is my monitor. I just keep an iMac, which I always leave on. So
Okay.
that's one node, and then we can figure out a couple other.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Awesome. Um, so that's that, and then we have the broadcast of pending transactions. So this one, actually, this one should be this one is a subtask of complete the blockchain functionality. Um, so perhaps what I'm going to ask Brother Ahmed is to replace these two, right? Um, yeah, this one is part of that. So let's see. The date for this is the 25th. Okay, yeah, I'll ask Brother Ahmed to either put this underneath as a subtask, or do something that makes it clear that these two are related. And then here we have the API documentation. So once we have the user stories and the use cases, we'll know what API endpoints we need. I mean, right now we have a few API endpoints that are running for the UI that the UI is using to present the information, the transactions, and everything. But we can definitely document that and make it more clear. Yeah, so this one is done. Actually, you can close this one out. Create mobile app for, yeah. So this is actually these two maybe, yeah. So this is after design. So this is also something that we mentioned in one of the previous calls. We'll create a mobile app for the project as well. Not it won't just be a web app, and we'll also have an iOS app, and also if I have time, inshallah, I'll create a Android app as well. So that's pretty much it. These are the tasks that we have in the queue. I was gonna say something, forgot. Yeah, so this is what we have now. If anyone who's watching the call, who's already not on the team, feels like they can participate and contribute to the project, please reach out to us, and inshallah we'll get you involved. With that said, I think I don't have anything else to say. If you guys have any questions or have any comments, please feel free to share them now.
Have you like put down a architecture diagram or something like that where it's easier to, for everyone to probably just refer for someone who joins the team?
I think so. We have a tech specs or a white paper, but I don't think we've added a diagram to it, which we should. Actually, someone asked me on Reddit the other day. They were asking for the white paper, so I think we should complete the white paper and actually publish it somewhere too.
That should be an item there on the board too.
Yeah, exactly. That we should that actually this should be one of the first. So we do have a white paper, and we shared it internally, and all of us have a good idea of what it is and what we're doing. But we should be releasing that soon and add a diagram, like you said. I don't think it has a diagram right now, Brother Hamid. So
Okay.
inshallah, we'll add a architecture diagram to it as well. And if you send me your email address, I'm gonna share that doc with you.
Okay. And I think you can also add an item here in the GitHub project, right? So just
Yeah, exactly. So I add an item here. Yeah. Oh, we shouldn't be in progress though. Well, actually,
it's on the left. Yeah, it's on the left. I think there is. Yeah.
should I? Okay, on the left, you said?
Yeah, it's where.
Add an item here?
Yeah, that's new. Yeah, yeah. So new,
Yeah,
I'd probably just
yeah,
add item, say like documentation. Oh,
yeah.
okay, my email address.
Okay, yeah. So we'll keep it as a draft, and we'll have Brother Ahmed do the rest. But now at least we have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did I do? I deleted the in progress column. Okay, no worries. So okay, I think we have we have a better idea um, of the milestones, and also what each person is going to do. So let's try to work towards that. Our next call is do you guys prefer Wednesdays or Sundays for our calls?
Um, Wednesdays are good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Wednesdays are usually good. There, it's also the least busy day
Yeah.
in the company. Okay, Brother Umair, Wednesday good?
Yeah, Wednesday works. By the way,
Okay,
brother, before we end the call, I wanted to talk about something. But yeah,
okay,
continue and I can ask at the end, inshallah.
okay, inshallah. So I think I don't have much else to say, but I did want to mention something. I um, I just realized one of the algorithms. Uh, you know, I know this is obviously, Alhamdulillah, we're all Muslims, and there's no need for this, but just the fact that computer science and software engineering can prove the existence of God is very fascinating. I just realized I was thinking about one of the algorithms, and I realized that actually it proves the existence of God because it ties. It ties to something that our scholars were always using for whenever atheists or non-Muslims would come and debate them. There's a concept that our scholars would always use, and uh, to defeat their opponents. And that concept is actually is practiced, and it's has become. It's not just a theory anymore. It can be proven practically through computer science. So inshallah, I was thinking about just doing a lecture on that one day. Um, I think it'll be very interesting. So this is I mentioned this just to show that going into this field, it has so many benefits, and there's so many different things that we haven't even figured out when it comes to how this field, how computer science and software engineering can help us and improving the existence of God, and then furthering the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I think that was the last thing I wanted to mention. It just crossed my mind. But inshallah, stay tuned. I'll either do a lecture on it in one of the mosques and then one of the masajid, or just a YouTube video. So
Can I share my screen real quick? And I want to show, like, if this is all that is needed to
yeah,
get started. Can you guys see my screen? No, not yet. I think probably now.
yeah, we can see it.
Okay, so I have the terminals launched, like you said. So when I did whatever is listed in the GitHub instructions, this is what I got. Is this a good starting point to start, or is it?
Yeah, this is very good. Yeah, so this is very good. So if you go to create transaction.
Oops, I can't hear you.
Okay, so if you go click on create transaction, can you hear me now? Brother Hamid, Brother Omar, can you hear me? Is it me that's frozen, or
Can
okay?
hear you. Brother
So,
Hamid's
brother,
connection or something.
Oh, sorry. Can you guys hear me?
yeah, now we can.
I think I lost my networks. I don't know. Something weird is happening. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yeah,
Okay.
we see many of them.
Yeah, I see that on the screen. Okay, let me stop and then start again. So I was able to like build this. Obviously, this is a new machine for me. So whatever instructions that you listed, Brother Sohail,
Hmm.
it wasn't enough for me. So I had to install like more packages and stuff and whatnot,
Oh,
more tools.
okay.
And this is my like first development project on a MacBook. So I had to install a bunch of tools, and then for the Python, I had to install like bunch of like packages from pip3 and whatnot. And then finally was able to get this, but I wasn't sure like if this is what was needed to start. It's just so I have this completed. When we start on the project itself.
Yeah, so I think this is good. This is a very good starting point. I just wanted to show you like some of the things. If you click on create transaction,
Okay.
and so basically the two would have
There
the
is.
recipient's
Yeah.
public address, but in this case, since you were just testing, you just put anything in there. Just put a long string or something.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have to add a check in the front end and in the back end to make sure that this is a valid key, and then
Yeah.
you add the transaction.
Okay. Oops. Oh, I think I need to do that again.
Oh, okay.
So that. And also like is this let's say when we first compile is this like a base project for any blockchain? Is that how it is, or did you create this from the?
No, we created it from scratch,
Okay.
but
I mean that I
but
was referring to this one. Okay.
oh, you mean the box?
Yeah, the box and then this one.
Oh no, I created that from scratch as well. But obviously, I did I did watch some SCSS tutorials.
Okay.
That's a new CSS which is very interesting. So I used that to create that.
Okay, so the create transaction, let's say if I add a transaction here, okay, something happened.
So you added transaction. Now go to pending transactions.
Yeah.
So you have this pending transaction. So
Yeah.
here you can actually do mine that transaction, or you can add another transaction as well. So if you go ahead and mine transaction, if you go back to the Bunyaan to the homepage first,
Yeah.
see you still have one block, right? So
Yeah.
whenever you mine transaction, for example, a miner will come and their node will mine transactions, and they will all the other nodes will decide that this node has mined transactions properly and the block is legit, and they accept to add it to the chain, right? And then
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
going to get added to the chain, and another block will be added, or
Yeah.
the chain will be will be one block longer. So in this case, we're doing everything manually just to show the concept, but obviously, as Brother Ahmed has pointed out multiple times, in the real world, the nodes that are run by different people, they will choose what when basically they will be mining automatically. You don't have to click on a button to mine transactions. So
Okay.
if you go to pending transactions,
Okay.
and you click mine transaction.
I just have one question before I go there. So when we create a transaction, so basically, in perspective of Bunyaan, we are, let's say, what are we doing in perspective of Bunyaan when you create a transaction? So is that like an amount towards the down payment, or like rent or whatnot?
Exactly. So basically, the once and again, this is just to show how the fact that transactions can be made, and then you can create a block from them. But what will really happen is in the back end, when
Mhm.
the person starts paying rent,
Okay.
the smart contract will start send making transactions, will send money to the recipients, to the
I
partners.
see. I see.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, and also
Oh,
the
I
smart
see. Okay.
yeah, the smart contract is also will also pay out the escrow. So that there are a few things that the smart contract will take care of. And then also if the person doesn't pay rent, their money the rent will be taken from the down payment. So yeah, so it's quite a few things. Yeah, a few places where transactions will play a role.
Okay. And then okay, I think that really helps. That clears things up for me. So when the pending transaction, so basically somebody sends, let's say the sender is sending money to the recipient, right? And then now, what happens here in the pending transaction? What does this do?
Yeah, so it's so like I said, this button is just for to show uh, just for demonstration purposes, right?
Mhm.
And what's going to happen is whenever the renter pays rent,
Mhm.
pending transactions will be stored in the backend. Right now, what you see in front of you, the pending transaction, this was actually fetched from the blockchain itself.
Okay.
Yeah. So the blockchain will have a list of pending transactions, whether we show it on the screen or not. The blockchain currently has a list of pending transactions, and as soon as a node mines the transactions and their mining is accepted and their block is accepted, then the block will be added to the blockchain, right? Um,
Okay.
so based on the transactions, based on that block and the transactions that exist and the to and the from addresses, the balances will change, right? Change.
Yeah. Mhm.
There is no the way you get the balance from the blockchain is it doesn't. It's not like every public ad. There's a database of every public ad. Public key and the associated balance. That's not how it works. The way the balance is retrieved is by every time by calculating the uh, the received payments and subtracting the payments from it, the outgoing payments, right? And then that's
Okay.
how the balance of each address, a wallet address is determined. So this is all done in the blockchain itself.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that answers your question or that clarifies anything, but
Yeah, just a bit, but I think it does help me a bit.
okay.
So especially this part. So if I click on mind trans, can I click on this and then see what
Yeah,
happens?
yeah.
Yeah. So if I click on this,
And then you refresh, or I do
go
a
to
sync,
Bunyan.
do a sync.
Uh, Here. Yeah.
You did a sync.
Yeah.
Okay, can you go to Bunyaan? Actually, the pending transaction should be gone. Uh, did you claim mine transaction? Click on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's.
So
Okay. I'm not sure why this is doing that. Actually, it shouldn't be. Did you change anything in the code by any chance, in the Python code?
no.
No. Okay, yeah. So because I was demonstrating the same thing and it was working last week, and I haven't made any changes to it, so I'm not sure. Um, yeah, I'll try to do it again on my end and see what I see. But as I don't
Okay.
remember making any changes. So what should happen when you click on mine transactions? A new block should be added here, right?
Okay.
And if you look at the last week's video,
Mhm.
you'll see what I mean. But I'm not sure why it's not happening on your side.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to look into it. I don't think I made any changes, but just in case I did,
Okay.
I'll take a look. Again, at this it's what I think once we have enough time to dedicate more time on this, I think these minor issues should not exist. But at least for me personally, in the last 2 weeks, I've been very, very busy. So inshallah, I'll dedicate more time and fix these small issues. But again, I'm not sure why that was happening, brother Hamid.
Okay.
Inshallah, we'll take a look at it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. I mean, I have one last question on the block itself, right? So, and this might be a dumb question, but so
No dumb question.
what does this block actually represents in like from the perspective of Bunyan? So, is it like uh, one like transactions and whatnot?
Yes, I will answer that question. Oh, Brother Ahmed dropped off. Okay, because I knew Brother Ahmed wanted to say something.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's all good. Maybe now for next week. So, from in the context of Bunyan, you said, what does this block represent?
Yeah.
So this block will have a combination of smart contract transactions,
Mhm.
transactions that interact with the smart contracts, and normal transactions if we ever need them.
Okay.
So all these smart contracts are saved in the blockchain.
Okay.
And
And a smart contract is basically a contract that's initiated between the buyer, right, and then the one lender.
yes, the lenders. Yeah, so you can have one lender or many lenders. So
Yeah, I see.
yeah.
So this
Yep.
block represents that smart contract and the transactions and whatnot, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So each time a transaction is made and a transaction is mined, it creates another block.
Blockchain. Yeah, and it's immutable. It's basically the block. Once it becomes a part of the blockchain, it's not, no one can tamper with it anymore.
Yeah, so it's basically
Yeah.
connected. The next one will have the hash of this one.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
whatnot. Okay, so I think one last question that I might have on this is, so let's say as the transactions keep on getting added, right? So you'll have like more blocks, right? More blocks
Mhm.
and blocks. Okay.
So as transactions get added, you'll have more pending transactions.
Yeah.
As pending transactions are mined, you'll start having more blocks. Does that make
Okay.
sense? So there's definitely a relationship between transactions and blocks, but there's a before they become blocks, they're pending transactions, and then they become blocks. So once you mine them, they become blocks.
Okay. So and what does what does mining do? I don't really have much background on the cryptocurrencies and whatnot. So the
No
pending
worries.
transaction, right? So when you say mining transaction, what happens there?
Yeah, it's sure. I mean, I would definitely recommend you read my paper that on the
Okay.
website for the about cryptocurrencies, because I explained that over there. But basically, mining is the process of adding transactions that are created to the blockchain, right?
Okay. Mhm.
And that process requires it has many different aspects. One of the main aspects of it is that you don't want just anyone to add to the blockchain, right? You want them to be a good actor, right?
Yeah.
That's not adding transactions to earn them money, right? Adding making transactions and adding different people's wallet addresses as the from, and then their
Yeah.
own wallet address as the to, right? You don't want people. So that's why there's a consensus mechanism that's in place when it comes to blockchains, and that's where all the nodes will start looking at the block that's being presented by a specific node, and
Mhm.
they determine they want to determine whether they try to determine whether that block is legit, right?
Okay.
And so
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so that I explained this in that paper more, inshallah. So when you have time, if you could read it,
Yeah. Sure.
inshallah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but these are good questions. I think, and I myself do not know all the details of it,
Yeah.
so it's definitely a learning process for me as well.
Yeah,
But
so I was, I was looking at one of the videos on YouTube about how blockchain works. So I got a bit of an idea, of how the blocks are added and how it's verified and whatnot. So I was just trying to like clarify some questions here. I think from what you explain, it does clarify a few of the questions, but I still have a few things in mind. But I'll read the paper that you will send me over, and then I'll probably have better information and then more knowledge around
Okay,
it.
inshallah, definitely. But if you have any questions now as well, if you want, you can ask them. I'm just not sure if, hopefully I can answer them. If I don't know the answer, I'll just let you know. But on the other hand, if you want to read the paper first and then ask the questions, if you still have them, that's also fine. So either way, it's fine with me.
So I think my question, I don't really have questions specific to the project itself, but let's say for me to get started, like working with you on some of the tasks, right? What would I need to know? Like, so basically, questions around like, are you coding this in Python, or the creating of the blockchain and whatnot? So do you want me to like, look into something before we meet the next time and whatnot?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, so let me put a list of things together, and then
Yeah,
inshallah I'll text them, just so you come, would you come into the call with more insight and more
yeah,
prepared. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Jazakallah khair. Yeah, it's
وإياكم.
a wonderful discussion.
Barakallah fikum. Jazakumullah khairan for joining the team, and inshallah we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to make it a success.
Ameen.
Jazakumullah.
All right.
Barakallah fikum. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.